little bit about the power of the word, the power of sacred geometry, the power of number, the power of sound. All different words using to describe the same thing, the same force. What we have the ability, what we are demonstrating through this work is we have the ability to tap into these forms of energy, forms of aliveness. And this is what we use when we work with our clients. And what we do is we create a story. It's like you've all created a chapter now in this book. And this chapter involves you and this person that you're working with. And you've come up with whatever information it is. And this is the important thing to grasp. It could be, like in this particular situation, that the person has done the work and the client knows exactly what it's about, can relate to it completely, and so the healing is beginning and it's begun. It's already started for you, there's no question about that. That's how it might work. On the other hand, it might work that you can do some work for a person and then sit there listening to this and think, don't really know what to make of any of that, not really sure if that relates to me. And then a little bit of time goes by. And with a little bit of time comes integration. And integration enables the person to actually take in the qualities of what it is that you journeyed for them. So it could be the person will get it there and then. It could be a little bit of time goes by, but nonetheless, this is how the healing works. So what I'm doing is I'm uncovering something which is not generally discussed in shamanic practice. So what we're effectively doing is we are creating a new story for our client. That's actually what we do. And by creating a new story, we're working with the power of sound and the power of the word, which according to the Bible and other ancient texts is actually how everything came into being in the first place. And some people would argue, well, it's not just how things come into being, it's actually how things are perpetuated. And we have this word, which is a word that is used in science and physics, and we have this concept of the universe. Not that many people know what the universe means. Universe means universe, one song. This is one song which we inhabit, which is the consensus. We see the ash tree and the hazel tree. This is a song that is being sung by the source, by God, by Spirit. And we're all part of this. So what I'm going to do with you next is I'm going to take you on a little journey. And as I think by now you're aware of the way I work. 10 seconds ago I didn't expect I was going to be doing that. But hey, there we go. So this journey begins with you right here, right now, where you happen to be sitting. And to realise that you're a part of this community, this group, the people in this octagon on this retreat. And to know that because time ultimately is illusory, is a construct which we make use of so we can function in the day-to-day 3D reality. So we can do things like go to work, go to church, pay our taxes. I just love those little ways of putting things. But so we can do all the mundanenesses of what we need to do. This is where we have our linear time, and it's a very useful gift to us. And what we do in this shamanic work is we take a step out of that, and we can move anywhere in space and anywhere in time. So there we call it space-time. And this is what we have the power to do, to be able to travel anywhere in space-time. So coming on this journey a little bit more to be aware of this octagonal space and the people in it. And here we are in this octagon, in this corner of southeast Lancashire, on this planet Earth, this beautiful blue planet which we've seen the photographs of. Anyone who's got an iPhone or an iPad will have the default device of the Earth from space. It's an iconic shot for us all since that photograph was first taken. And we know this planet is orbiting this star, which is a very average star, the Sun, technical name Sol. And this is in the outer suburbs of the Milky Way galaxy. And just to be aware that when we start to do a bit of a count up like the astronomers, astrology is about understanding, about knowing, but astronomy is really about numbering. So the astronomers number the stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and we come up with hundreds of billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So we inhabit the outer suburbs of this galaxy, comprising hundreds of billions of stars, many of which have planets, and many planets have been discovered by astronomers in the last 20 years. There's now hundreds of planets outside of the solar system which are well known to astronomers, and most lay people have no idea of this, but it's so well known now. And we know that this is just one of hundreds of billions of galaxies in the known universe. So we're talking about numbers which are mathematical. They're so astronomically mathematical, our rational minds cannot begin to grasp the numbers of galaxies, the numbers of stars, the number of planets in the entire universe. It's really beyond our rational mind's ability to grasp. And to know that this universe is just a tiny little pocket within what is known as the wider reality. And this is within the wider reality that we encounter the source, what people call God, presence, many different names for the same form of existence. So here's the story that Alan Watts likes to tell. The source. We're going to stick to the word the source. The source existed. The source was conscious of itself. And the source had an impulse. The impulse of the source is to grow, to learn, to become even more. And bearing in mind the source is all that is, was, and ever will be, this was a magnificent challenge. And the source rose to the challenge, and the source became incredibly innovative. And what the source chose to do is to separate itself off into an infinity of particles, quanta. We could use the word quantum. And these infinity of quanta were given the mission, and the mission, go have fun, explore, have a good time. And so these individual units of the source explored pleasure, delight, joy, universal unconditional love in all forms, and did this for an unspecified period of time. Every possible experience it could be wished into existence was indeed and is indeed wished into existence. And all these tiny little packets of the source having these incredible experiences, and after a while the impulse became even deeper. And some of these packets, some of these particles from the source, chose to be even more innovative, and they chose to experience not just pleasure and enjoyment and universal unconditional love, but they wanted to get a little bit edgy with it and to experience some other realms of being. And over infinite vastnesses of time, these points, these particles of source, experience more and more interesting, dramatic, exciting, edgy, challenging forms of existence over many, many mathematically huge numbers of time. And amongst all those huge numbers of packets of the source, there were some that chose they wanted to go all the way. Let's go all the way in terms of what it's possible to experience. And so a planet was created and brought into existence, and many beings from many different regions chose to collaborate in the formation of this planet. And the lucky few, the lottery winners, because it was a lottery, that's about the best way to describe it, the lucky few, the lucky 7 or so billion, incarnated onto the planet Earth. And they are the first beings to choose full physical existence with the ability to completely forget everything about where they came from, totally forgetting all points of origin, and to actually inhabit a fully physical body where, in order to move, rather than just thinking I will be in this different universe and instantly being there, no, actually to have to put one foot in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other, and to possibly feel sensation that they could label as discomfort or even pain in the act of moving on this planet. And therefore, what we have is us human beings. It's interesting that we use the word human being. We're not called humans, we're called human beings. And being relates to source, it relates to simply being, and that's what we all are. And what we've chosen to do is to explore a question. And the question is, what is it to be human? What is it to be human? And because we're all individual emanations of the source, we all experience and explore what it is to be human in our own individual way. And so we have infinite diversity in infinite combinations, and this is what we've chosen to do. And to embrace the limitation of the physical form and all that implies, the wonder, the beauty, the majesty of being able to immerse oneself in water, to be able to sit by a warm fire, to look up at the stars at night, and to wonder what's going on out there. And so this is the way that Alan Watts loves to put it. He says, we are all God who've chosen to forget that we are God. So in other words, we are God pretending to be not God. All our limitations are our greatest gift. And as the residents of this planet, we have an enormous gift which we are in the process of preparing to share with the wider reality and the wider world out there, because it's populated with so many beings. And the gift that we have to share is working through all the limitation and the negativity that's present on this planet to create ways to resolve conflict. This is our completely unique human gift. So if ever at any point in your life you've ever experienced a conflict with another human being, and you found a way, even just for 10 minutes, to resolve that conflict, you're part of this universal solution that we're all part of. So we've taken this incredible step into what we're doing as human beings. And know that your path is totally the honourable, the right, the just path for you. And if your path is to become a healer, this is great. And if your path is to regard us all as to be a complete load of bollocks, that's also wonderful, because we're all here to express everything from our individual point of view. And by listening and by sharing and by moving and by being in communities which may last a few seconds, a few hours, a few days, a few years, a lifetime, whatever it is, we're constantly living, moving and having our being in terms of relating with others and allowing conflicts to develop and resolving conflicts, and to know that's a gift that is not just for you yourself, not even just for us, the human race, but for the bigger picture. So we all are part of a magnificent experiment, and everything that you've ever been through, that you've ever experienced, is a gift. And that includes the difficult times, the hard times, the times of the sufferings that you may have experienced in your life. And in a sense, this is what we come here for. We all come from universal, unconditioned love. We experience the limitation of corporal existence. We learn to share. We learn how to get into conflict and to resolve conflict and to move into a place of trust and love with people. So, as a human race, we are a success story, and we are celebrated by beings throughout this universe and beyond. And we are of great, intense interest because we have done such a brilliant job of what we actually came here to do. And everybody is on their own individual journey, and I invite you to celebrate your journey, celebrate yourself, and celebrate your life. When I became interested in shamanism, my father, who trained to be a priest, was curious. And he went and did some research, and he discovered a definition of shamanism. And he said, a shaman is someone who celebrates life. Well, I would say a human being is someone who celebrates life. This is what we're here to do. We're here to celebrate life in whatever way things come to us.